You ever hate buy something? Like, you know you hate it, but you buy it anyway out of obligation or some random reason? Anyway, here's Legacy United Tigerhawk. And nope. Nuh-uh. I'm not doing it.
No, no, mm-mm, mm-mm, no, 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 hell no, 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 I refuse, no, no.
I've been told that I have to do it, otherwise I'll incur the wrath of our overlords, the Vok. So here's Tigerhawk. Cool toy, terrible character. So, massive spoiler alert. Tigerhawk is the fusion of Tigatron and Air Their sparks were removed from their bodies, combined into this, and subdued due to the Vok that's inside them. Everything has to be the Vok. On a side note, if you want to know more about the Vok than the TV show did, I recommend the Beast Wars IDW comic books. There's like 13 or so, and yeah, they're pretty heavily featured in it. But the reason I hate this character is because he died in 3 episodes. That's all the screen time Tigerhawk had. 3. And I know you could say it's a marketing decision, but it literally is a marketing decision that Hasbro regretted immediately. Because they weren't sure if they were going to sell the original toy. So they wanted to kill off the character, but then they realized they were going to sell the original toy. So, like, no, don't kill off the character. But by the time they went back to have the character not die, it had already been filmed to kill him off. Even Hasbro regretted their own decision immediately. And it birthed this really weird design. Like, look at that side profile. That is. Yep, that's Tigerhawk. Oh, the color scheme is pretty good. Like, the cartoon accurate purple. I know some people are going to prefer the toy accurate blue. And recently, I was at a convention and saw original Tigerhawk. I was surprised how much more armor is on the head, on the beast mode head. Yeah, that blue does do something pretty good, but I like this shade of purple. I've already seen this toy customized into original toy colors. Oh, this is such a weird design, especially for a Fusor. One mode or one part of it begins and then immediately stops. It feels so segmented. Like, first off, it's asymmetrical, obviously, and not just the back legs, but even in the front legs. Like, each leg is different from each other in very slight ways. Like, the paws are sculpted slightly differently. I don't know what to say about that face. He's like, but he does have an opening mouth, which opens a bit too far. Ah! Oh. And yes, if you can't tell, he has an arm sticking out the back of his head. Like a conjoined twin, but worse somehow. It's just an arm. His tail feathers stick out at. Why? Why do they have to stick out at such an angle like that? He's got his head shoved so far up his ass, he actually believes he's from heaven. And I, the greatest toy reviewer that's ever lived, know a thing or two about having my head up my ass. I There is gold plastic, but I think we're past GPS at this point. It doesn't have the swirl that you would see in gold plastic, so I think we're good at this point. I hope. You never know, this toy could crumble to bits. I don't know if I would be mad at that, or I just go, ha, you deserve it. And you can see where the differences are between the white plastic and the white paint. I have a very bad, lame defense for that. It's the blending of the technological and the organic. That's what I'm going with. That makes me justify this $70 toy that I even overpaid for more than $70. Articulation, the head is kind of limited. It's got that much range. Close up his head. Like, besides the mouth opening. So you could, with the ball jointed hind legs, get him vertical without him turning into a robot. This front leg articulation is more for the robot mode. I guess these paws are unique to the beast mode and they have a swivel. There. The hind legs are completely ball jointed at the hip. They've got 1, 2, 3 hinges in the legs, so they have quite a bit of bending. You can bow leg him. If that is bow leggedness, I'm not sure. But you have a small variety in ways you can pose him. You've also got a hinge, but that's much more for transformation. The wings, that is a massive wingspan. And they're on a hinge. You can go even further, and you can go in front for a, I guess, full weapon mode. The original version of this character had a third mode, akin to the other Transmetal 2s at the time. And just like a certain dragon, it was scrapped for the new version. But this is a weapon mode that you could almost consider a third mode. And it also has articulated wings for flapping. Because, yeah, that's how kids play with toys. Flapping. They've got a hinge here and a hinge here. So you could even go down a little bit if you want some more subtle resting poses. And you know what this guy reminds me of more than Tigatron and Airazor? He feels like an upgrade for Silverbolt. Here's a size comparison. Like, legitimately feels like an upgrade for Silverbolt. If that was the original idea, and they had to change it to a tiger instead of like a wolf, I could very easily buy that. And not buy it in the money sense. But also, Legacy United Silverbolt when? Wave 2, actually. That was leaked quite a while ago, and we've seen probably one product shot of it since. I am looking forward to Wave 2. I hope I can get my hands on it when it comes out, because I need me a new Silverbolt. I've lost both of his missiles. They're somewhere behind my Hoi Foi, and maybe I'll see them at some point. I don't know when. There's nice sculpting on the wings. These random green circles that have a bit of color in the other mode. And also, he's got an orb on his neck. Another Transmetal 2. I subtly mentioned him earlier, but yes. We need more Transmetal 2. Hasbro. Can we get a new Cheetor? I'm not considering that Optimal Optimus from Power of the Primes. That thing was terrible. It's only on my shelf because it's Optimal Optimus. And I guess we have to compare him to the toys that made him. Damn it. Taking their relationship to a new level. Managed to damage my air razor. Maybe I'll try and fix that. Size comparison. There. Also, here's Tigatron. God, the whites on this thing make this thing look drab by comparison. And for the first time transforming him in a while, I noticed he is yellowing. Just great. Maybe I do need the premium finish. Anything else before we transform this guy? I don't think so. Let's get to it. So, unnecessary, but you can straighten out the hind legs. We're gonna fold the foot down, which folds the foot out, the other foot, and this part will be a heel spur. The same thing on the other side. And take this purple panel and fold it down. Because we're creating a vaguely robotic leg. And I'm just going to bring it all out and bring this gold piece out as far as you can. Do the same thing on the other side. And then what are we doing? We're going to untab the front legs right there. They tab in there, and they tab in up there. So we'll just leave them back there for a second. The head's already untabbed. I'm just going to straighten the arm out and pry open his skull. We're going to need that in a second. The chest is going to split open. It's best to pull on the back of it so it splits open. And you want to pop the back open just a tiny bit. Make it easy on myself. Pull down the wings. So you want to come here, grab this whole section without the chest panel, and make sure that the little tiny neck scruff is on the back, and this is all the way out of the way. Rotate it like that. And then we have to come to this section. Rotate it forward. Make sure the legs go through like that. Make sure they go through. So when you rotate this all the way up, you also don't forget to flip out the head and then rotate the head. And it's going to tab in to the purple structure. Let's go with that. You can now form the crotch, the worst part of Voltron, and now form the crotch. And then you can fold down his loincloth. Each of these chest panels is going to come to the front, and it's going to tab in to the sides of the middle right here to create a bulk illusion. Like that. Each of the heads, their armature has a little white slot right here that's going to tab in right like that, right in there. And you'll do the same thing on the other side. You can straighten the arms. At this point, where the tiger head is situated is up to you. I believe on the box it's That's good enough. That's as far as it can go up. You can tab the arm in properly. Close that back up. And now you want to flip out the hands. This would be a bad time to cut your nails. There we go. Come on. Come on. Get out of there, you tricky bugger. There we go. And you want to do the same thing on the other side. Fold out. Tab. Before we tab the backpack back in place, we're going to bring up these legs and they actually slot right into those slots. Make sure to get the little tab right in there. It's a bit awkward, not my favorite, but when you get it, there you go. It sits into place comfortably like that. And do the same thing, the other side. This one's a bit. This one does want to fight me right now. There we go. And last thing, tab in the backpack. Position the wings however you want to. And that, oh, nope. Things are coming undone. Of course they are. Where are you? Oh, both of them have popped out. Just great. Also, wait, do they? I think the hind legs also tab into the backpack. I'd never noticed that. Yeah, there. Okay, there's a port. You learned something new. All right then. This is the robot mode. Click. And that is a hell of a transformation. Not really in the positive sense. Like, that is very parts clashy. Uh, I, I know he's supposed to be a kid's toy. If the kid's 31 years old, but like, I don't think I could recommend him to young kids, really, given that complexity, especially kids with probably short attention spans who would just get confused on where things are going and yeet him across the room. I'm sure he could survive a yeet or two. I really wouldn't. I don't think I would recommend it. But I really like the shape of this robot mode. Like the chest gives him a really nice illusion of bulk. Just how freaking powerful he looks. And you know, there's very little kibble. I don't consider the wings kibble. Like he uses his parts very well. Like for either crucial details like the legs becoming legs, which is not the weirdest sentence I've ever said, or decorative like the other legs becoming shoulder pads right next to his shoulder pads. One of them being a tiger head. I love how he keeps the theme of asymmetry in this mode. Like, neither of his feet are the same sculpt. Obviously, his shoulder pads are different. Like he is obsessed with representing two different things. Obviously, I think there's probably some more detail that got revealed that we didn't see in the beast mode, like all that right there that was covered by the arm. He looks really cool, and look how freaking wide he is. Like, damn. I know it's just the wings, but still. Articulation wise, head is on a ball joint. I'm going to give you even longer close-up of his freaky skeletal visage with the red eyes kind of dulled through the green visor. Like, that face. Excuse me, Power World. Do not close on me right now. Just to let you know, he is a Maximal. He is supposed to be a good guy. Even though I'm pretty sure the Vok are as neutral as Switzerland. They don't care either way. Pretty good range. You can also use a transformation hinge for a bit more looking down if you want, but you got looking up, kinda, not really, but side to side, rotation, a bit of quizzical head tiltage. We're going to talk this arm, even though the articulation is exactly the same with the tiger head. I just don't feel like moving it because pegs and unpegs a little easier than I want. But you've got a universal joint, and to go outwards, you've got a joint here instead of one of the transformation joints. Like you could use, it's actually locked in pretty good there, but use that as your outward shoulder. I like that the shoulder pad flows along with the arm, if it doesn't come right back down. You do get a bicep swivel, both arms. You do get a very deep elbow bend. And for some reason, no wrist action. But I love wrist action. You'd think at leader class he'd have a wrist joint. But no. Under his loincloth, you do get that much of a waist twist. It's enough. The hips, ratchet, ratchet, ratchet. All the way back, all the way forward. Outwards, they're not ratcheted, but they're pegged, like they're tabbed in. Like you have to unlock it for some reason to get the outward kick. I don't understand why. Probably to keep them locked in the beast mode. So you do get your thigh swivel. It's kind of cute how they attempted linkage articulation, but not really linkage articulation with the knee pad like that. Like you can go past the knee pad, so it is broken right there. But it's just kind of like, oh, you tried. Not really. Vangelis loves him some linkage articulation. Definitely a hallmark of higher price things, but you also have an ankle pivot. No swivel like the other foot, which is hilariously right back there, but you do get an ankle pivot. And you can bend the heel down if that supports kind of it. No. You try and put him with the heels down like that, and he kind of tiptoes and doesn't have a center of balance. And, the wings are the wings. You got a hinge, hinge. You can keep him here if you want to lower his horizontalness. So, he does have accessories. And if you couldn't tell, they've been hiding on his body this whole time. So, first off, this, not really a tail, but it is a gun. And on the original, it was molded onto his arm. But now it's removable with blast effect compatibility in the double barrel. So he can wield it like a really tiny double gun. I prefer to leave it on his arm because his other weapons pack much more firepower. Yep, he can rip off a chunk of his body and wield it like a massive cannon. In fact, he's got 2 of them. Yeah. So now he's got quadruple guns. And, hilariously, these pieces the guns are mounted on can rotate around to reveal triple barrel more guns. Because, he's a 90s character. What happens when you take off a gun? You can just turn something else into a gun. So he can shoot somebody trying to attack him from the sky, I guess. They don't look blast effect compatible. They look like they're making that face. And if that wasn't extreme enough, body manipulation. Just like Silverbolt, he can rip off his wings and use them as melee weapons. Another reason why I think he was intended to be a Silverbolt upgrade and not Tigatron and Air Razor. He's got 2 wing swords. I imagine he could also use as throwing knives if he felt like it. So yeah, there's a lot of play features with this guy. He's almost a whole playset on his own. Let me just plug those guns back in. I also have to get Tigatron and Air Razor into robot mode. The guns really only mount this way. He's got a personal arsenal made out of bits of himself. Like, I know most Beast Wars characters, their guns are parts of their body. Cheetor, Tigatron with their gut guns, with Rhinox with the twin miniguns of death hidden in his beast mode. Transmetal Cheetor. Just gonna keep bringing up Cheetor, but like, I think this guy brings it to an acceptable amount of 90s excess. I'll get his halves ready and we'll do one final comparison. All right, size comparisons. Air Razor. Get Tigatron. Especially the barrel. That's the biggest yellowing I can see. Even then, it's kind of hard to see, probably. Silverbolt. This is the Takara release. I no longer have the box, but I also don't have his missiles. Gee, I feel like I'm repeating myself for some reason. Megatron. When it comes to leaders in Legacy, he's not at the bottom. I'll say that. He's certainly not Blitzwing. You can go into 5 different toy stores and find 10 different Blitzwings in there. But I think I recommend this guy if you want a Tiger Falcon that turns into a robot. That's a very weird thing to want, but he does fulfill those criteria. I don't know, for Beast Wars collectors, I guess I recommend him if you want everything, but that looks like a bit of paint chipping right there. But I don't think he's for everyone. And I think they designed him knowing intentionally making him not for everyone. But hey, who am I to judge if you want a toy or not? It it holds up. Nothing falls apart. So if you want I want to say Cronenberg nightmare that this guy is, And yeah, why not? He's kind of hard to find. I missed my first chance to get him because of finances, of course, but I paid even more afterwards. And, I don't know. I just had a crazy thought to review, or not review, but make a tier list of every toy that's come out in Legacy. And we're not even done with Legacy yet. We've just had a Wave 5 that's been leaked a few hours before this. Thank you, JT Prime. There's some interesting things there, like a core class Dinobot. How the hell are they going to do a core class Dinobot? Like that, they barely were able to make it work at either Voyager retail or Masterpiece level. Like, are you going to make it tinier? Go ahead, I'll probably buy it. There was some other things on that list that I'm not going to say what they are right now. That was the thing that stood out to me the most from the reveal. I guess I recommend this guy in a weird way. He's a very weird figure. So maybe we're kindred spirits. I don't know. If you like him, pick him up. If you don't, feel free to skip him. I could say that with every toy, but it's kind of hard to figure out, other than hardcore Beast Wars collectors, who this toy is exactly for. Because I just absolutely hate the character. And like, all kidding aside, all shtick aside, I guess, he's a good toy. It's just a character I don't ever want to play with. So I'm going to put him somewhere and probably forget about him. Like even though I stare at him, I completely forget that this guy's standing on top of my Xbox all the time, guarding it. It's a very weird thing to have a Megatron do. Until next time, I didn't give you the Beast Wars theme at the start, so I'll give it to you now. Keep it weird.